Welcome to the Word for 2022. Today we're in 2 Kings chapter 15. As you're reading 2 Kings, it might become a bit confusing. There are two kingdoms. The northern tribes, called Israel, and the southern tribes are called Judah. Now, each kingdom has kings that come and go. You almost need a scorecard to keep track of them. As 2 Kings goes back and forth talking about what's happening in the north and what is happening in the south and how they're relating one king to each other. Not only that, but some of the kings' names sound familiar, and some have more than one name that they're known by. That is the case here in chapter 15. In verse 1 we read, "In the 27th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, Azariah, son of Amaziah, king of Judah, began to reign." Now, Azariah was also known as Uzziah. Now, we know about King Uzziah as we read in Isaiah chapter 6, how the year that King Uzziah died, that's when Isaiah was commissioned. In Isaiah 6:1, in the year that King Uzziah died, Isaiah said, "I saw the Lord high and lifted up." That's King Uzziah that we're reading about here in 2 Kings chapter 15. King Uzziah's reign, it's not chronicled much here in 2 Kings chapter 15. But in 2 Chronicles, which parallels 2 Kings, we get the full picture of the story of what took place with King Uzziah. In 2 Chronicles chapter 26, Uzziah came to power when he was 16 years of age. He reigned for 52 years. He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord. He started out well. But we read in verse 5, as long as he sought the Lord, God gave him success. As we continue to read in 2 Chronicles 26, his fame spread and he became very powerful. He had a long list of accomplishments that are there in chapter 26. In verse 15, his fame spread far and wide, for he was greatly helped until he became powerful. In my Bible, I have underlined that word until 3 different times. This was the turning point for King Uzziah. Again, verse 15. His fame spread far and wide, for he was greatly helped until he became powerful. In verse 16, after Uzziah became powerful, his pride became his downfall. He thought that he could do whatever he wanted. King Uzziah, he went into the temple to offer incense there at the altar. Now this was only be done by the priests, but King Uzziah thought he could do whatever he wanted to. 80 priests came and confronted him, and then it says that Uzziah raged at them, and while he was yelling at them, leprosy then showed up on his forehead. And in verse 21, King Uzziah had leprosy until the day that he died. Pride. It was King Uzziah's downfall, but it's also a great enemy for every Christian. Pride is the overly high opinion one has of themselves. In Proverbs 16:18 we read, "Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall." In Proverbs 11:2, "When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom." Pride wants us to exalt ourselves. Humility, on the other hand, is pleasing to God, and it puts us in a position where God then will honor us. Devotional writer Henry Blackaby said it best. This is what he wrote: "There are 2 ways to be exalted. One is the world's method. Take every opportunity to promote yourself. Seize occasions for recognition. Manipulate your way into the center of attention. The other way is God's way. Humble yourself. Rather than striving for recognition and influential positions, seek to put others first. Cultivate humility. It does not come naturally." Then he said, "One of the many paradoxes of the Christian life is that when God sees genuine humility, that's when he exalts a person." Thank you for joining the Word for 2022.